It is actually so sad how most of us want to see ourselves on the pinnacle, on top, without even first preparing a ladder on the bottom, without even first making sure the bottom is solid enough. We are so wired into just, like Gary Vaynerchuk said, everybody just want to wear splinter shoes. Nobody want to jog, nobody want to warm up. We all just want to see ourselves flying, running. But guys, honestly speaking, nobody achieves anything without putting in the work, without putting in the effort, without putting in the energy needed or required. This is your brother, Sai Chilwane, representing Aribu with Sai Chilwane. If it is your first time in our YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you find this productive and educative, hit that like, and you can also drop your comment so we can do better next time. So as I was saying, guys, nobody really achieves anything without putting in the work. I believe that nobody achieves anything without putting in the energy required, unless otherwise you collected an inheritance. And I believe that everybody all around the world knows about the story of Noah. This story is from the great book called the Bible. So the story of Noah, it talks about how Noah was actually the chosen one. Everybody, like most of us, we have this idea of just believing in God to just do things for us, to just miraculously drop things for us, give us things that we need, without even putting in the work. If you could just look at the people that are doing bigger things all around the world, they first started somewhere. They first sweat. They struggled somewhere until they made it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's continue with the story of Noah. Noah was chosen by God. Remember, he is chosen by God, the creator, and God gave Noah the vision of how he's gonna end the world. Noah and his family was the chosen ones to build an ark. Can you imagine how ark is big? Even in the Bible, it elaborates how the ark, it should be how many meters, how many hectares, and how many trees he have to chop. Like, it's just him and his family. Think about it. He had to chop trees. I'm talking more than hundreds and hundreds of trees that he had to chop down. He had to put nails on every wood. He had to build an ark that is big enough to put in each and every male and female of animal living all around the world. Can you imagine that? How big the ark is it? It was during back in the day. Noah had to work. Noah had to drop sweat. Noah had to struggle. He had to put nails. He had to chop down trees. He had to carry hoods. I'm talking long hoods. You understand? If you've seen the movie or if you've seen pictures, you'd probably have the idea of what I'm talking about. So the story just actually reminds me of how we will never ever achieve anything if we don't put in the work and energy and efforts required. Imagine, we live in a time where we actually, I think that we live in a time where we are actually more distant with God. You know what I'm saying? Comparing to back in the Bible's time. Remember, back in the Bible's time, if you can like look at the stories of the big prophets and the people who did miracle stuff in the Bible, they had to work for them to achieve whatever goal that they were planning. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is that, bruh, we got to work for us to achieve something. You have to mop that floor at McDonald's. You have to hang those clothes in a retail store. You have to lay that brick on the construction. You have to sweep that floor in a hospital. We got to work, whether it is tough, whether it is not, whether it is raining, whether it is sun shining. We got to work for us to be where we actually want to see ourselves be in the future. What really breaks my heart is that most of us Christians, we always pray for how God should just drop things to us. Like, imagine if Noah had expected God to just drop an ark. Imagine if Noah just expected God to just bring the animals in the ark. Bruh, Noah had to build the ark. he had to chop down trees. After building the ark and completing everything, he had to go and search for all the animals so he could bring them in the ark. Can you imagine how big of a work was that? A work that was instructed by God, a work that was of a benefit to mankind and God. But I'm talking about the goal that is wholly your benefit. You want to be something, you want to do greater stuff, but you don't want to do the work, you don't want to put in the effort. You're believing in God to just drop those stuff, and for most of the reasons of whatever you want to achieve is actually wholly about you and has nothing to do with God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be a billionaire. What you want to do with a billion? It's not like you want to give charity and stuff. You just want to live a comfortable stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. Everybody, like, we want to be different stuff for different reasons. Sorry about that, for different reasons. So I'm emphasizing that we got to work for us to achieve bigger things. We got to work whether whatever the situation is. We need to kill the spirit of complaining and the spirit of laziness, believing in things to just happen for us without us putting the work. And you know, I've realized most other people, like, we have this idea of believing that we have to wake, like in South Africa. Let me just tell you the history of South Africa. We had Nelson Mandela, the likes of Nelson Mandela and other people. We have those people who had to come and rescue the majority of us from a certain struggle. And in the Bible, they had to wait for Jesus Christ to rescue them. But then, for me, I feel like we have to kill that idea and the spirit of believing that there's a Messiah coming to save us. We as a whole, we as individuals, we as unity, we are the people who have solutions for our own struggles, for our own success, for our own whatever. Put in the work. You will see. You will achieve things. God bless you.